Welcome to Alpha English Podcast. I'm your host, Lisa, and joining me, as always, is the one and only Luke.
Hey everyone, so happy to be here. If you're new to the channel, hello. And if you've been with us for a while, you already know we keep things real, fun, and super educational.
Absolutely. And today, I am so excited about today's topic. Our topic is how to use should versus must.
Oh yes, this is such a good one. I know a lot of learners mix these two up all the time, and honestly, the difference is huge.
It really is, because should and must, they look a bit similar on the surface. They're both modal verbs, right? They both talk about things we need to do or things that are a good idea, but the feeling behind them is completely different.
Exactly. And once you understand the difference, your English starts sounding so much more natural and fluent. Like you stop sounding too strong when you didn't mean to be, or too weak when you actually needed to be firm.
Yes, that's so true. Okay, before we jump in, I just want to take a quick second to say, if you're enjoying the Alpha English podcast, please like this episode and subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please. Your support really means the world to us, and it helps us keep making content just like this, free, fun, and useful for English learners everywhere.
All right, now let's get into it. Should versus must. Let's go.
Okay, so let's start with should. Should is a modal verb, and the main job of should is to give advice or make a suggestion. It means something is a good idea, but it's not a rule. You have a choice.
Right. So think of should like a friend giving you advice. Like if your friend says, you should drink more water, they're not forcing you. They're just saying, hey, it would be good for you.
Exactly. It's gentle. It's helpful. There's no pressure. Here are some simple examples. You should eat breakfast in the morning. She should call her doctor. They should study before the exam.
Oh, I love those examples. And notice, in all of them, there's no punishment if you don't do it, right? Like if you don't eat breakfast, nothing bad happens legally.
Right, exactly. Nobody's going to arrest you, but it is the smarter, wiser choice. That's the feeling of should.
So the formula is really simple. Subject plus should plus base verb. No ing, no to, just the simple base form. For example, you should go. Not you should going. That's a really common mistake.
Oh yes, that mistake, should going, I hear it all the time. So let's say it clearly. After should, always use the base verb. You should go. She should sleep. We should leave.
Perfect. And one more thing about should, you can also use it to ask for advice or opinions, like, should I take this job? Or should we tell him the truth? In that case, you're asking someone what they think is the best idea.
That's a great point, Lisa. It's so versatile. Should for suggestions, should for advice, should for asking opinions. Got it.
Quick recap before we move on. Should equals advice, suggestion, recommendation. It's gentle, it's not a rule. And after should, always use the base verb.
All right, now let's talk about must. And right away, you should feel the difference in energy. Must is strong. Must means this is necessary, this is required, this is not optional.
Wow, you can almost feel it when you say it. Must. It has that weight to it, right? Like there's no going around it.
Exactly. Here are some examples. You must wear a seatbelt. Students must submit their assignments on time. All passengers must show their passport. These are rules, requirements, laws sometimes.
And the difference in feeling is huge, right? If I say, you should wear a seatbelt, that sounds like friendly advice. But if I say, you must wear a seatbelt, that sounds like a law. And in many countries, it is a law.
Right. Perfect example. And you know what? The interesting thing is that must can come from two places. It can come from an outside rule, like a law or a rule at work or school, or it can come from inside yourself, like a strong personal feeling.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you give an example of that? Must from personal feeling?
Sure, like, I must call my mother today. I haven't talked to her in a week. Nobody is forcing you, there's no law, but you feel strongly that it's necessary. That inner pressure, that's also must.
Oh, I love that. So must can be external pressure, rules, laws, requirements, or internal pressure, your own strong feeling that something is necessary.
Yes, and just like should, the grammar is the same. Subject plus must plus base verb. You must go. She must finish. We must be careful.
So to recap, must equals strong obligation, necessity, or requirement. It can come from rules or from inside yourself. And again, base verb after must. Always.
Okay, now let's do the fun part. Let's put them side by side and feel the difference. I'll say a sentence with should, and Lisa will say the same idea with must, and let's notice how the meaning changes.
Oh, I love this. Okay, let's go.
All right, should version. You should arrive on time.
Must version. You must arrive on time.
You feel that? The first one, should, sounds like a polite reminder, maybe a friendly suggestion. The second one, must, sounds like a strict rule, maybe a boss talking to an employee or a rule in a contract.
Yes, and depending on the situation, you want to use the right one, because if your friend says, you must come to my party, that might sound a little intense.
Right. That might make your friend seem a little controlling. In casual social situations, you should come to my party is much more natural.
Okay, let's do another one. Should version. You should see a doctor about that cough.
Must version. You must see a doctor about that cough.
Interesting. The should version is caring advice, like a friend being concerned. The must version sounds more urgent, like a doctor telling a patient, this is serious, don't wait.
Exactly, and that's the key to using them correctly. It's all about the level of urgency and obligation you want to express. Should is gentle, must is strong.
All right, let's talk about the mistakes, because I know this is the part that helps the most.
Yes, okay, common mistake number 1, using must when should is more appropriate.
For example, a student says to their friend, you must try this restaurant.
That's not wrong grammatically, but it sounds very intense for a casual suggestion. A more natural thing to say is, you should try this restaurant. That's friendly, that's natural.
Right. Save must when something is truly necessary or required. Don't use it for casual recommendations, otherwise you'll sound a bit too serious.
Mistake number 2, using should when the situation actually requires must. Like, imagine you're writing a safety manual for a factory. Workers should wear protective gloves.
No, no, no. In a safety manual, in a legal document, that needs to be must. Workers must wear protective gloves, because in that context, it's a requirement, not just a suggestion.
Exactly. If you use should in that context, it sounds optional. And when it comes to safety, things can't be optional.
Right. You don't want a worker to say, oh, I thought it was just a suggestion.
Exactly. So the context always matters. Always ask yourself, is this a strong rule or requirement? Use must. Is this friendly advice or a suggestion? Use should.
Great summary, Luke. And mistake number 3, which we mentioned before, using should going or must to go. Remember, after both should and must, use the base verb. No ing, no to, just the base form.
Okay, now let's look at some real-life situations where knowing the difference really matters.
Yes, let's start with the workplace.
In a formal workplace email or policy document, you'll often see must. For example, all employees must complete the safety training by Friday. That's a rule. It's required.
But if your manager is giving you informal advice, they might say, you should check with the client before sending that. That's guidance, not a hard rule.
Right, and knowing the difference helps you understand how serious a situation is. If your boss says, you should finish this today, it's a priority, but maybe you have some flexibility. But if they say, you must finish this today, drop everything.
Yes, that's such a practical tip. Now, what about school or studying?
In school, you must submit your essay before 9 a.m. or it won't be accepted. That's a hard deadline. It's must territory.
Versus, you should proofread your essay before submitting. That's advice. Helpful, but not a strict rule.
And here's a cultural tip. In British English, you'll sometimes hear ought to used in a similar way to should, like you ought to apologize. It's a bit more formal but has the same gentle advisory feeling.
Oh, interesting. So should, ought to, both are in that soft advisory zone, while must stays in the strong obligation zone.
Exactly. And in American English, you'll often hear have to used almost the same as must for necessity, like you have to wear a mask in the hospital. But that's a topic for another episode.
Yes, we'll save that one. But great point. The modal verb family is big and beautiful.
All right, let's give you some quick tips and memory tricks so you never confuse these two again.
Tip number 1. Think of should as your wise friend. A good friend doesn't force you, they advise you. You should exercise more. You should get some rest. Friendly, caring, not forceful.
Tip number 2, think of must as a rule, a law, or a strong inner voice. A sign on the wall says, you must pay before entering. Your conscience says, I must apologize for what I did. Strong, required, no choice.
Oh, I love those mental images. Tip number 3, test yourself by asking, can I choose not to do this without breaking a rule or law? If yes, you should. If no, use must.
That's a brilliant test. So, you should sleep 8 hours. Can you choose not to? Yes. No law says you have to, so should is correct.
Versus, you must stop at a red light. Can you choose not to? No, it's a traffic law, so must is correct.
Perfect. And tip number 4, pay attention to the context, formal or informal, rule or advice, urgent or relaxed. The situation will usually tell you which one to use.
Beautiful. So we have 4 tips. 1, should is your wise friend. 2, must is a rule or strong inner voice. 3, ask if you can choose not to do it. 4, read the context.
Okay, we love making the learning interactive, so let's do a little exercise together. I'll give you a situation, and you, yes you, listening right now, pause the episode and think about which word to use, should or must.
I love this. Okay, situation number 1. You're talking to your younger sibling who wants to stay up very late on a school night. What do you say?
If you said you should go to bed earlier, you're right. It's advice. You care about them. You're not a police officer.
Situation number 2, you're reading a sign at a hospital entrance. What does it probably say?
If you said all visitors must sign in at reception, exactly right. It's a rule, a requirement. Must is the right choice.
And situation number 3, your friend is feeling stressed and hasn't taken a break in days. What do you tell them?
If you said you should take a break and relax, perfect. You're being a good, supportive friend. You're not demanding, you're advising.
And situation number 4, your company's security policy about passwords. What does it probably say?
If you said employees must change their passwords every 90 days, yes, that's a company requirement. Must is correct.
How did you do? I hope you're feeling more confident already. These exercises really make the difference when it comes to using these words naturally in real life.
Let's take a moment to look at formal versus casual usage, because the register, meaning how formal or informal the situation is, really affects which word you'll hear more often.
In casual, everyday speech between friends or family, should is much more common. You rarely hear people say, you must eat your vegetables to their friend at dinner. That sounds like a very strict parent.
Right, but you should try the pasta here. It's amazing. That's totally natural between friends.
In formal writing, Contracts, policies, manuals, official notices. Must appears much more frequently because these documents set requirements and obligations.
Exactly. And there's actually a whole field called legal English where the word must is very carefully used. Lawyers pay a lot of attention to whether something says must or should because it changes the legal meaning entirely.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's so fascinating. So this isn't just about grammar. It can have real-world legal and professional consequences.
Absolutely. So whether you're writing an email, having a conversation, or reading a document, paying attention to should and must will help you understand the level of obligation involved.
Okay, we can't do a full episode on should and must without talking about the negatives because shouldn't and must not, or mustn't, are also very different.
Oh yes, this is important. Shouldn't means it's a bad idea. It's not advisable. For example, you shouldn't eat junk food every day. It's not a crime, but it's not a good idea either.
Right. Shouldn't is still in that friendly advisory zone. It's the negative version of should, still gentle, still a suggestion.
But mustn't or must not is much stronger. It means this is forbidden. This is not allowed. Do not do this. For example, you must not use your phone while driving. That's a law in most places.
So the gap gets even bigger in the negative, right? Shouldn't is a gentle warning. Must not is a prohibition.
Exactly. Here's a pair to compare. You shouldn't lie to your friends. That's moral advice. Versus you must not lie under oath in a court of law. That's a legal requirement. Very different consequences.
Yes, one might damage a friendship, the other could land you in prison.
Exactly. So be careful with must not. It's serious business.
So to summarize this section, shouldn't equals bad idea, not advisable. Must not equals prohibited, forbidden, not allowed.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of today's episode. And what an episode it's been. Let's do a final recap of everything we covered today.
All right. Number 1, should is used for advice, suggestions, and recommendations. It's gentle, it's optional. Think of it as your wise, caring friend.
Number 2, must is used for strong obligations, rules, laws, and requirements. It can also express strong personal necessity. It's serious. It means there's little or no choice.
Number 3, both should and must are followed by the base verb. No ing, no to. This is a grammar rule you absolutely must remember.
See what I did there? You absolutely must remember it.
Yes, perfect example. Number 4, in the negative, shouldn't means not advisable, must not means forbidden. Very different levels of severity.
Number 5, context is everything. Look at the situation, formal or casual, rule or advice, urgent or relaxed. The situation will guide you to the right choice.
And number 6, real-world applications matter in the workplace, in safety documents, in casual conversations. Knowing which word to use makes you sound more natural, more professional, and more confident in English.
You know what? I want to say something to everyone listening. Learning English is a journey, and every episode you listen to, every lesson you pay attention to, it adds up. You're doing amazing work just by being here.
That is so true, Luke, and I really mean it when I say, don't be afraid to make mistakes. The best English learners are the ones who try, even when they're not sure. Use should and must in your conversations today. Practice it. Own it.
And hey, if you found this episode helpful, please go ahead and give it a like. It genuinely helps us reach more learners around the world who need exactly this kind of content.
And subscribe to Alpha English Podcast if you haven't already. We come out with new episodes regularly, covering vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, speaking tips, and so much more.
You can also leave us a comment. Tell us, did you know the difference between should and must before today? Or was this a new discovery for you? We love reading your comments.
All right, that's a wrap on today's episode of Alpha English Podcast. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Luke.
And we'll see you in the next one. Keep learning, keep growing, and remember,
Your English is getting better every single day. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Take care.